What's going on, everyone? And on TCG here, and I want to spend a little bit of time talking about Stellar Crown. It's kind of the set that everybody had high hopes for, but kind of was put on the back burner after Twilight Masquerade and a surging Sparks goes crazy here. So I want to talk about this set a little bit because it's kind of a forgotten set, and I personally think it's really cool. But I want to talk through some numbers and what I'm seeing, and quite honestly, I think this is going to start to move up here relatively quickly because for a couple of various reasons. First of which is you see here on TCG Player, it's still selling for $106 a box plus tax. Midwest TCG Company has 111. We're kind of past the point here where a lot of the big sellers just want to liquidate what they have for what they can get, and churn money, churn and burn. I just did my this week in distro video, and we're seeing it for Duskborn collector boxes where you have P Football Pete and Flipside Gaming selling what they have left, and they're quite honestly moving on to the next set, and that's actually really encouraging for me to see, because once that happens, then the product's kind of out there, and it's either ripped or whatever. The other thing, I think and I could be totally wrong here, I think the rip and shippers, I think they've been a little bit light on this set, especially since nobody really knew what the Terapagos chase was going to look like. But again, I want to touch on what I'm seeing are some supply-demand imbalances that I think are really going to be bullish for this set going forward. So if we go down to the 3-month or the 1-month chart, here's where it's interesting. So, obviously this is all over the board, and, these low prices don't mean anything because it doesn't factor in shipping. I mean, there's some jerk off right now who has boxes at $120 for Surging Sparks plus, $14.95 in shipping, and then it just looks like the price has gone way down. It's the algo that they have set up here doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But what I want to focus on is right now there's 1,523 boxes listed. Now, obviously, there's a lot of boxes that would come to market if the price goes up, but let's just deal with the simple math. So there's been 1,110 boxes sold in the last month. So, just over 33 boxes a day. With 1,523 listed, this is probably, with assuming boxes coming to market, probably 2 months worth of inventory. And if we look at the volume here, it's tailed off a little bit, but this set has two very important things going for it. First of all is rising tide lifts all boats. Actually, three things. So a Surging Spark sitting at $140, and the Pokemon, I don't think it's a bubble yet. I think it's a bull market. It's like the old Wall Street saying that I can say stupid longer than you can say you can stay solvent. We're not there yet, and it's going to get way crazier here before this ends. But eventually money is going to leave the crazy sets, and it's going to go into the much more reasonably priced sets. And quite honestly, I think it's a stronger set than Scarlet and Violet Base. I think it's a stronger set than Paradox Rift, if for no other reason the pull rates are more difficult. Temporal, I think, is a strong set on par with this. And, Twilight, other than the Greninja, kind of is what it is. But, that ship sailed on that being a reasonable price. So, I think it has Surging Sparks going for it, which is going to lift the tide of all the sets. It has a price point, so it can still be had for distro at $95 a box, maybe a little bit less depending. So it retail, you can still buy it for $105, $110 plus tax. And then let's go to the main point here. So if we look at best selling, and a lot of times when it comes to singles, the algo here it messes everything up. So what I want to point out is just look at the Bulbasaur. So see, this is what I mean. The weekly chart or the daily chart, it's fucked up. But we'll talk numbers here. So let's go to the Squirtle. If it doesn't work, I'll just talk through it. Look, this one actually worked. Well, sort of kind of worked. Okay, so this is right. So this sold 19 today. And again, remember the graph is on a 1-day lag to the current date. 25th, 24th. So in the last 30 days, it sold almost 900 copies, almost 30 a day. So and we can see it's ticked up a little bit. So the total quantity here says 74, but the 74 is a little bit misleading. So the last time I counted this, if we go down to the bottom here, this is set to 50, and there's one page. So there are like 42 sellers of this card, and there's 30 of this card selling per day. I did the math on this on the 1,628 copies that sold just here. I think it's one per 4.69 boxes or something like that is what the math comes out to. This is like 1,000, like 1,200 cases or something like that worth of Squirtles that have been sold on here, plus eBay, private, everything else. The demand for this is about to outstrip supply, and part of the reason is there haven't been enough boxes ripped. So I would be shocked if this isn't a $60, $70 card going into Thanksgiving, or the boxes are pushing $115, $120 as people rip them to pull this card. Now, whether that's an intelligent financial decision or not, different conversation. But this Squirtle card is going to drive value in this set, which is going to drive value in some of the other cards. As the rip and shippers go back to pull the Squirtle. And what's interesting is the PSA 10s are only selling for $210, $220. And I think it's like a 55 or ish percent PSA 10 rate. And forgive me if my number's off there. But this card's going to drive the set, is what it looks like right now. This is about to be the second most expensive card in the set. And quite honestly, potentially the most expensive card in the set. So this was interesting. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.